Welcome back. This is Green Country Custom Paints, and that's exactly what we do. We're going to be doing the V63 craw. We're going to be matching that pre-rapala. We've done it many times. We didn't change a whole lot up. We just done things a little bit better. So if you haven't seen the V63 craw, come check out the little bit newer version. And if you're new to the channel and you like seeing custom crankbaits painted, or you've got an old pattern you'd like to do, guys, it's not that difficult. It just takes a little time behind a brush. So, and if you're brand new, you probably ought to go to the playlist. It's the complete tutorial for custom painting crankbaits. So let's get right to it, and I'll shut up. Let's go spray some paint. Let's get us adjusted here. We're going to be doing the V63. We've done this several times. So we're going to get right to it. We got a base coat, but we've got to get our bone base coat done. And we want to go light on that. You can see, I don't know, you probably won't be able to tell on camera the difference between the very top and the bottom of the bait, but we've got a little bit off-white looking color. So now we need to find our moss green. We're going to mix that up here a little bit. To get this green back that we prefer, we're going to be doing 2 coats. So we're going to go moss green. You know what? I thought I'd change that up a little bit. I'm looking at my recipe over here. 4 moss green, 6 light brown. So we're going to put the dark color in first, and we'll go from there. We're going to have to add some 4011. Reduce that, about 4 drops of that to our light brown that we need to mix up on our 4E's little mixer. I think I've showed you guys the 4E's mixer. I don't know if I have or not. I'll bring it into camera if I haven't. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty handy deal when you're, you know, it's no big deal to shake your paints, but when you're right in the middle of a paint session and you've got an airbrush in one hand, you can mix up your paints in the other and just mosey right along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 brown. So there's our green color for our V63. And people ask me all the time, what's your most done pattern? And I'll tell you, it's hard for me to tell you. I probably should have some kind of software that tracks that, but you know what I mean. I'm just not into it that much. I don't know if you can see that, but still a little thick. See how it's dripping slowly off that brush? Which this airbrush will spray it just fine like that, but I'm going to add 3 more drops of 4011 to it and do a little more mix. Need to let that 4011 kind of mix with that paint, and it's really best to let it set 5 minutes or so, or you know, they probably tell you 10, but I don't ever have that kind of time. I just do a good stir and a good mix, and that's a lot better. Now you could go a lot thinner if you were doing some detailed lines, but we are not. We're just doing our back color. And I'm gonna let that set for just a minute. I'm gonna bring down my original V63. I think this is it. Yeah, it's an oldie. That's the V63. And it's pretty worn, you know, but there's your bone color. We're gonna leave that. That's, sometimes I'm the world's worst. I won't leave that very good. So we're, you know, halfway down this bait, we're going to go real lightly with our green we just mixed up. Then we'll come down the back of it with some black and darken that up, and obviously put our craw lines in. Do our orange belly. So anyway, right here, we're going to go ahead and do our green. Now this was a clear need to turn my pressure up here. Yeah, that's a lot better. We're going to go light on the sides, a little bit darker down the back. I'm going to look at this lip. I better heat set that. And this was a clear. Customer didn't tell me whether or not he wanted the lip painted, but when we got a clear lip bait, I don't want to paint those. Ain't no way. But that's what you get, quite honestly, most of the time. And I could probably get some acetone and get that right off there. But even on the old wiggle warts, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mist that with a little white. Not a big deal. We'll blend that in perfectly. Because even when the Norman Storm brothers done it, they got a little bit of that on their bait, the lips of their bait. So here we go. Now we'll put our orange on. In fact, we're gonna flip it over, and this is where I sometimes make mistakes. Now there's quite a bit of that white left from whatever color this bait was, and like I said, this was a clear bait, and that's why I'm saying they a lot of times we don't need a clean line right there. We're going to let a little bit of this orange, that's fluorescent red, and I'll tell you, that fluorescent red, it might not be a bad deal. We're going to spray a little bit of that and see what that looks like. Just don't let it get up in here too wide on the belly. This is from our last bait. You just spray that out. It's really not a big deal. Yeah, that ain't what we're looking for. We'll get rid of that. Just use that for a little bit extra of a base coat. We want this fluorescent orange. Now it's going to take 3 coats. Maybe that one right there will help us out. If you know what I mean? We're talking about bright. While that's still wet, I gotta check myself all the time because, man, I'm world's worst at getting it up there and covering up my little white. It needs to be left. Just do a real good heat set here. Oh, we got a ways to go. Now this bait's old, so obviously that's darkened over time, but we're gonna do one more coat for sure. May go ahead and do 2, even though we did the red below it, which should count as 1. Be good. That's going to be real good. And that bad boy is ready for black. And we're going to be putting our crawl pattern on this because that's what the customer wants and not a true wiggle wart pattern. I've got a 3D scale I had made years ago that can't get anymore. I get questions about that all the time, and I can't remember exactly who made it for me, to be honest with you. Okay, so we're going to either use that one, yeah, or you can go this direction too. And we're going to use this one. This is the most common one, and I'll bring it up to right. I want that white in there. Now this black is where you'll cover it up too, so you'll be careful. I need to shade that. I like the shading a little bit more on it, but we'll let it roll from now. I like the black eyes, man. I do like yellow sometimes, and then obviously red. And I think this V63 is actually supposed to have red eyes, so we'll go back and fix that. But we're going to go ahead and knock this out first. Okay, so we're coming up right in there. And customer specifically asked for that. Said he read an article. I don't know if he wants me to share it with you, but watched a YouTube video called Bass After Dark. It was a crayfish expert that observed bass eating crayfish and said that they key on the dark squares when feeding in the back. So, no wonder they like my old crawl patterns, right? Tell you what, I was going to come back and shade that in, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Well, what we are going to have to do, because this is the V63 and we're matching it, we've got to fix these eyes up. You know, I got to tilt this up. I don't have to, but let's see. That's the one I usually use. Or is it this one? We'll use this one this time. I'm going to come back. I still got her white, and I want that red to be pretty bright. So we're going to knock that black out. God dang. Shot out of there like a cannon. Now, if you want your red real dark, you don't have to do that. Just spray red over it. But I'm going to go with this. I really like this crimson red. And, man, I've got all my brushes filled up here. Let me clean this one out. But we'll get rid of this transparent. V63 now. We could do some segments on the bottom. He didn't really mention whether he wanted any or not, so I usually don't on mine. And then again, let's make sure on what he's written out. Would like to, one of my most popular patterns, okay, when I get that question, I mean, this one is a popular one. When somebody's doing a wiggle wart, it's usually, hey man, can you do the V63? We've got it matched up. Oh, we got to add a little bit of dark stuff. We got to go down the back here. I forgot about that. Now, being I've already got some black, but I'm still going to darken that back up a little bit on the head. I don't want to take away his dark squares, but I've got to darken that up. So anyhow, if you liked this pattern and you enjoyed seeing the match the hatch or match the bait on this one and last week's spring crawl, by all means, subscribe. Appreciate the thumbs up and the likes and the comments. Leave those below. And please tell me, do you have success on your waters in muddy situations with the V63? Or is it that 3 to 4 foot visibility, or does it got to be super clear? I've done real well on clear water lakes. I just don't know that I've ever thrown this in stained water. So I got a customer in Alabama that's wanting this, and Lay Lake, I think it's going to be a good one for there. But anyway, let me know. Leave me a comment. Again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you stayed to the end. Make sure you look at the pictures at the very end. It always brings out the colors a little bit better. Till next week, Green Country Baits, signing out.